Yeah. So we heard about this event that was happening in New York. I don't know how, I don't know when. You and I might call it a God shot, like where it's like, how did this even come into our path? And it was this storytelling event where you would invite a woman or non-binary person to share a personal story as it relates to a common theme. And that would look like 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s plus. And for me, it felt like, oh, this is a way to bring something that has been instrumental in my recovery to everyday people, non-addicts essentially, right? Which is that shared storytelling. It's not beautiful. It's not a TED Talk. It's not. And I tell people all the time when they're coming on the show, I'm like, this is not your opportunity to do a TED Talk. You just come, tell your story, your truth, say your truth about the theme, and the magic will happen.
Hi there. Welcome back, or welcome to Recovering Out Loud podcast, the show where we get real about mental health and addiction. I'm so glad you're here. If you or someone you love is struggling with drugs or alcohol, please reach out for help. Send me a message on all social media platforms at Recoveringoutloudpod or by email at recoveringoutloudpod@gmail.com. You are no longer alone. So yeah.
Rock and roll, baby.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way it is, right? I actually posted on the wall there, if when you walk in, I posted like looking for addicts in recovery to come on the podcast.
Right.
Haven't gotten one call. I thought for sure. I was like, I thought for
they're
sure.
all in denial.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say, I was like,
maybe.
they're not
Yeah.
there yet. You should have put underneath, P.S. I'll save you a seat.
Do you want to know? I should have put the 21 questions maybe on the wall instead.
No, that's painful.
Yeah. Thanks so much for coming down, guys. I really appreciate it. I love when people reach out to me and, I'm really interested to hear what you guys are doing. I heard a little bit about it, but I want to know more about it. You know, we know each other from the recovery community, which is now the second time that's happened to me where I've had someone in here. I know, right?
Oh, I thought for sure it was way more.
I'm not reaching out to enough people then, clearly. But another woman came in here and I was like, I know you. And so that's beautiful. You know, it's a small world, this recovery community in Toronto, but it saved my life. So why don't you both introduce yourselves and give us a little bit about maybe, I don't know, you're in recovery, Jen.
Yeah.
But you are not.
Nor does she need it.
Yeah, nor does she need it. Yeah, thank you. So just let's do that. Start with a little introductory and what mental health means to you today. Talk about
Wow. Just a casual icebreaker.
Just going to drop that.
Okay, so my name's Jen Baxendale, and I am one of the co-founders as well as the host of Generation Women Canada, and that is a live show we do here in Toronto and is actually starting to expand this year, which is really exciting. And I've been sober from alcohol and drugs, specifically cocaine, since 2012.
Nice.
So I just celebrated 13 years of consecutive recovery.
Amazing.
Yeah. And so, yeah, we do know each other. We've like orbited, I think is how I would describe it, but I probably wouldn't have even known your name necessarily. But like, I kind of like saw you around, I'm sure, because I see the men, but I tend to stick with the women. So, when I saw you were doing this, I was like, this feels great because there is some motivation for when we started the show that ties into like a lot of the things that I learned in recovery. So that's kind of me in a nutshell. Over to you. Don't choke.
Oh, God. Jen's good at speaking in rooms.
I love your relationship already. This is great. I'm having a great time.
Well, let's talk about it. So my name's Kirstin Rajala. Jen and I are actually best friends also. And we met in 2008.
7, I think.
8. I had a business. I sold it to the company she was the VP of. And we immediately looked each other up and down and thought, you are fun. Let's hang out. This could work. But Jen was not in recovery. And so while I was drawn to her as a person, we couldn't maintain a friendship because she wasn't
Totally
the most
unreliable.
reliable person.
I can't relate to that at all.
No.
No.
And the great end of that story is that she became sober and I got the best of both worlds. I got, this amazing, beautiful friendship out of it and to celebrate her sobriety along with her.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I'm not sober, nor do I need to be. Thanks for calling that out. But I support and celebrate all of her milestones and medallions.
For sure.
Yeah.
And you are also my co-producer.
That's right. I also co-produce the show.
Generation Women.
Yeah. I'm more in the background, although I've been getting on stage a little bit more to get over my fear of public speaking in front of an audience. And we do this for fun. Like, this is a passion project for us. We both have full-time gigs. Mm-hmm. This is, something we just are incredibly certain needs to happen as an event series because of the community that it celebrates and that it creates.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Jen, do me a favor and just tilt it down a little bit. It's covering your face and I want to see your face. Or
Stop flirting.
They want to see your face. So that's amazing. So you got to see her before.
Oh yeah.
And that's why, because when I was saying you're not in recovery, I was about to say, but you've been touched by addiction, but I can't I confirm nor deny that. Right. So now it seems like you do have experience with recovery because you've seen it in your life and you've seen what addiction is all about. Can you talk a little bit about the before and after transition?
Sure. And I will say my dad was an alcoholic who never went into recovery. Jen, I clearly saw that there were fantastic qualities about her. But as fabulous as that was, it came with a lot of challenges because making plans, being a trustworthy person when it comes to just being reliable, whether it's things you say and things you do.
Yeah, actions matching words.
Yep.
Wasn't really a thing.
That was tough. And it certainly, when we socialized, it was never only about socializing very quickly, right? Like we'd be like, hey, let's hang out and do a puzzle. And you'd be like, I just did lines in the washroom.
Yeah, I would roll up, I'm thinking of that specific night. And it was I was, 10 steps ahead of everybody else and not matching the energy. I was not reading the room.
No, we'd be opening Diet Cokes and she was literally cutting lines in my bathroom.
I could relate to that so much.
Yeah. So
she'd be like, hey guys, it's party. I'm
which
like,
is
it's
fun.
4 p.m.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
1000%. People have stories about me showing up at morning time and it being like that, just always really to the extreme. And I think when I think about those things, it's interesting because I always wanted to be friends with you and I wanted to be reliable and I didn't necessarily want to be that person, right? It's now when I see myself in recovery, I would love to do a puzzle. I can imagine what that kind of is like when you're dealing with an addict versus a non-addict, right? And it can show up even as a recovered person, I can or person in recovery, I don't really like that terminology. Yeah. I can feel I'm still drinking energy drinks sometimes and I'm still let's do over scheduling and that. So it's I do sometimes feel it, but it's obviously it's not killing me, so it's not nearly what it once was.
Although you did bring me a Diet Coke today.
I did.
We call them fridge cigarettes.
A fridge ciggy. When you go, you're like, oh yeah.
So dirty. All that aspartame.
That's the second thing I've learned today already.
Yes.
We're not even 5 minutes in, 10 minutes in. I love it. Fridge cigarette.
Listen, I will say the mental health thing is another piece that we...
Oh yeah, we share that for sure.
We absolutely share that. We both have our semicolon tattoo, if you're familiar with what that is.
Explain that.
I'm going to ruin this. The Semicolon Project was started by a lovely woman, and I feel horrible that I don't remember her name.
There it is.
But it was really looking at the purpose of a semicolon in grammar and that it means the sentence is not over. And it, for people that have this tattoo, means they either or are supportive of someone who chose not to commit suicide. Their sentence is your life.
Yeah. So when you could have chosen to end it, which is a semicolon, instead the sentence carried on.
Yeah.
So that was the Semicolon Project. I don't necessarily endorse it or know where it's at today, like if it's still an active thing.
She unfortunately did
she
end
did.
her life, which is very sad, but there's a beautiful community around it.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in places and
people notice it, like, and will like say, oh, like me too, or it's like it's
a whole other community.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing. What a great, I can relate that so much to like addiction too, where it's like, you know, when I came into recovery, maybe you can relate to this too, but it's like, I thought my life was over, right? Totally. And I thought it was done. I wanted to kill myself many times. I think a lot of the time though, although I didn't really plan out suicide or try to take my life yet, I always say yet, because I don't know what'll happen if I go out there again and use, but I would just have scenarios in my head where I'd be like, I wouldn't mind if, you know, this happened or, you know,
totally.
And that's the place it brings you to. So I love that. That's amazing. It's like the story is not over yet. The sentence is not over yet. There's more learning to be had and more relationships to be built and more sunsets and sunrises to see. Right.
And I love the terminology of like, when it could have ended, it carried on. And it's not that when it could have ended, it got amazing and everything was great, you know, or like, it's like, no, it carried on. Yeah. And that feels like really relative to both of our mental health journeys.
I'm moved by the fact that you say yet when you talked about suicide, because clearly that's not cool. I'm medicated. I feel really good. It doesn't mean it's gone away, but at one point someone said to me, promise me you won't do anything without talking to me first. And they made me shake on it. So I'm going to do that to you right now. So promise me you won't do anything.
Shake on it. I like that.
Better shake.
Okay,
Get over
sorry.
here. Promise me you won't do anything.
I promise
you.
you.
One of us first.
Yes, I promise you. Thank you.
I love that.
That's great.
Everyone heard that.
Yeah, now it's all over the internet, so you're accountable.
It will live
now.
forever.
Yeah. But no, I think it's important. I mean, anytime I've ever gone back out and relapsed, it's because I missed that step, that important step of telling somebody about my grand ideas and plans. And, you know, I was mentioning to you that the 8 years, like, my life was amazing. It was incredible. I never thought I would relapse ever. It was not a part of my story in my mind. Right. And that's why I say yet today, because all I have is today. Right. Yeah. I know today I don't think about suicide. Today I don't think about the drugs right now. And if I can get to bed sober and in a good mind state, or not even in a good mind state, if I can get to bed sober, like that's a win for me today.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, the other thing about the after is you did say that your friendship group changed.
Oh yeah.
And then I got more of you to me. So selfishly it worked out really well. But you talked a lot about that, that people didn't know how to socialize with you, right? It's gotten better because now there are more activities for sober people. It's actually become quite a thing, right? Sober parties, sober this, and daytime parties.
Coffee parties.
13 years ago.
No. 13 years ago, we were still doing beer at yoga. And I was like,
what does that look like? That sounds awful.
Listen, I didn't go to it. I was too drunk.
Yeah, like how do people even make it there?
No, but it was like, it was so ingrained in everything. And like going out was like, not we're going to drink, we're going to get annihilated. It was very much that like the 2000s culture. And there was that. I was getting a Diet Coke, a fridge ciggy, or
Red Bull,
a Red Bull or water. Right. And now like I love when you do your like reviews of the different, like whether it's non-alcs or it's like different beverages. It's exciting. And like Kirstin's such an advocate for me. Like when we go out for dinner and like we look at the menu because we travel a lot together, she'll be like, not much here. Like, that's a little X in this. But other times it's like,
front page.
Oh, wait until you see, like it's right there in the front. Right. And so, you know, going back to that, the friendship and us, I guess, reconnecting. I don't even know, like coming back together, I guess.
Her meeting the real you, maybe?
Yeah. Even she was one of the first people that I told that I was trying to get sober when I sought sobriety the first time, because I did have one relapse. I didn't tell anyone at first because I didn't want to be accountable, right? Once I tell people that I'm doing this thing. But I did, you know, I told her. I actually remember we were at Spice Route. We were on the patio. Like, when you have that moment, like it's the same way I remember my first drink and the music that was playing and the sound of the room. Like I can go back there, which is like generally a good indicator that you might have a problem. Spoiler alert, not many people remember the moment they drank and the song they were playing for the first time. So anyway, yeah, telling her was like that step of accountability, you know, saying my truth about what was going on, because a lot of what was going on around me looked the same, right? I was 27, I think, when I first came into AA, and there wasn't a ton. Now there's way more, and I love that. I love that for the community. And there wasn't a lot to do. There really wasn't. Like, there was no sober community. There was like maybe dry January, but I don't even think so. I feel like that came after.
Yeah.
And with all these new kind of menu options and this new kind of approach towards it, it feels like, as someone who is a supporter of a sober person, I can talk about it more freely. I think before, 13 years ago, if you weren't drinking, people were still pressuring you and asking why.
Yeah.
And that's become more normalized. Even today, when we came in, I asked you, is it rude to ask how much time someone has?
Yeah.
I don't know. So she is educating me as well on, I know it's your own experience, but on generally what the community feels okay being talked about or asked about.
Yeah. And there's a lot of that. I'm not sure what you have experienced around like breaking your anonymity, so to speak. 'Cause even for me, I've always been open. I've always had the luxury, as I say, to be able to tell the career that I was in for a very long time. Everyone there knew I was in recovery. Everyone there knew I had a problem. My family, the friend group that I started building back up, but it wasn't very common. Like, a lot of people weren't necessarily talking about it. And I talk about it all of the time because I think it is so important that we come out of the dark basement and actually say, hey, like, addiction can look like this. It can look like me in my late 20s. It can look like someone with a career. Like, it is not what was originally shown on TV. I think it's getting better now, like the representation of addiction and recovery, but it wasn't like that then. And it's been a really important part of my journey to actually be open. And I've actually been able to have people reach out to me and say, like, hey, I'm struggling, or my sister's struggling. Like, because of my openness, it has opened that communication to allow me to like help other people as well in a totally different way.
Yeah.
That's like outside of traditional recovery rooms.
Absolutely. And that's the best part, right? When you get those messages, like, it's the greatest thing ever. That happens to me a lot. So it's interesting that you bring that up, because I made a switch this time around where I had almost a double life before, where I was, sober, thriving 8 years. And then I went to work and I didn't talk about it at all. Right. And I'll never forget this. I remember we were going out for lunch one time with the guys in my office, and I had the recovery literature in the back seat. That's looks like a Bible. And the guys got in the car, and nobody said anything. But I noticed after when we got out that I left it in the back. Yeah. I had a panic attack. Like, I was like, I might get fired. All these thoughts started going through my head. And so, to your point, oh my God, is it so much easier to live life when you just don't give a shit about what other people think, whether you're in recovery or not? Because for a long time, I think I was a little bit ashamed of it, even though I was showing up to meetings and I was like, this is great, I love being sober. No, I'll tell everybody. Now the thing I struggle with now is, and I'm learning this in school, I'm back in school for social work. And one of my professors talks about just how much you tell your story, like, and in what moments, because I've definitely overshared before, right? And people have been like, what, smoking meth? Like,
I remember telling a story, like, when you have like T3s and you like cut them up and you rail them, and like, I was like, oh, not a safe space. Like,
library.
Everyone was like, but it's true, right? Yeah. And the duplicity was what I struggled with, actually, what you're talking about. I was like, you're coming in, my relationship with 12-step program is probably not your traditional 12-step necessarily. So I will say that, and to each their own. And I'm very much a believer in, like, whatever your recovery looks like is what it looks like. And there are many paths to recovery. It is not just in 12-step. It is not just in rehab. I didn't go to rehab. But it is for me, I was living such a double life. Like I was moving person to person. I don't even know if I could call it a double life, but if I'm with you, I'm acting one way.
Shapeshifter.
If I'm with you, I'm acting another way. And so then to come into 12 step and have this like, the importance of anonymity stressed, I struggled with it because I'm like, okay, so I shouldn't tell people, or I should, or like if I see you on the street, like, isn't that still kind of a dishonesty? Like if I'm not, and I remember a switch, like there came a point where I'm like, oh, I'm an addict, like woe is me kind of. And I was like, no, I'm a fucking sober addict. Like I'm a badass. Like I overcame something and I am out here like living my best sober life, and I'm not going to not talk about it. I'm not going to say, "Oh, hey, you're in AA too." No, but I am going to talk about the fact that I'm an addict and what it looked like, and not downplay it or hide about it. And if someone not pressures me, but like prompts me to know more, then I might say, here's one of the tools that I use, which is 12-step programming.
Yeah. And what that looks like and how you can access it. And all
yeah,
that stuff.
exactly.
Yeah. That's a good point. Okay. I want to talk about the generation women some more. How did that start? And so where did it start, and where is it at today, tomorrow, next week? What's on the horizon?
Okay. Yeah. You want to start?
Yeah.
We always go to events and love attending events. We noticed that there weren't a lot of events available to us that reflected either our age, our interests. There were some kind of event series where people would speak, but we found that they were very first world problem type scenarios. And there was never anyone older at all.
Like older than like 30 even. Like mid 30 at the max.
Yeah. Combine that with your experience in recovery.
Yeah. So we heard about this event that was happening in New York. I don't know how, I don't know when. You and I might call it a God shot, like where it's like, how did this even come into our path? And it was this storytelling event where you would invite a woman or non-binary person to share a personal story as it relates to a common theme. And that would look like 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s plus. And for me, it felt like, oh, this is a way to bring something that has been instrumental in my recovery to everyday people, non-addicts essentially, right? Which is that shared storytelling. It's not beautiful. It's not a TED Talk. It's not. And I tell people all the time when they're coming on the show, I'm like, this is not your opportunity to do a TED Talk. You just come, tell your story, your truth, say your truth about the theme, and the magic will happen, right? And that's what happens in 12-step traditionally, right? Is like people, it could be anyone, it could be any age, it could be anything, right? And they tell their story or portion of their story, or they sit, one-on-one, and they share their experience, strength, and hope on addiction, recovery, how to live sober, like all of those things, how they work the steps, whatever. And I had women who were like very young, people, either sponsees or even just other fellows who were helping me. And then I had people as, 80s, 90s, like there are people still telling their story in their late 90s right here in Toronto. And they were helping me, and they were my friends. Like that was the thing too, is like I would get these looks sometimes when I would be out with them, whether it was like just going for coffee after a meeting, or like with sponsors or other fellows that I just was like looking for advice from. And you could see them being like, well, that's not her mom, and that's not her grandma, like, or it's not her little sister or whatever. Like, who is that person? I'm like, that's my friend. Like that person helped me get through major things, right? Like you do so much growing up when you get sober. And so bringing it back to the show, I'm like, this is like that, right? This is where we go and we will share the story. And instead of talking about sobriety or addiction, we're going to talk about, your bucket list or wise words that someone shared with you, stories about the female body. What else? Those are just like a few of them, right? And you go on this journey, right? And you have your team 20s, and they're always like, vibrant and full of hope and a little bit selfish and ego and kind of, and then as you go on and it starts to shed and these people become just so authentically themselves. I don't know how old you are, but like when you turn 40 as a woman, it's just like, it's a really like a TSN turning point where you're just like, I could like, no, don't care. Like I can think of random shit that I was doing when I was younger, like going to the gym and like being worried about how I looked, or like holding in my pee so that I don't like go to the bathroom as if someone's gonna like a guy is gonna like know that I went pee. It's just like bananas.
So silly.
And so it was, I don't know, it's just you go on this and by 40s it's like yes, and by the time you hit 70s they take the house down. It is just like the show is, it does really pull from the community and fellowship aspect that I learned in recovery spaces. It is a safe space. It is inviting. Like we want you to swear, we want you to make a mistake. If you cry, that's okay. You know, and what somebody's story that means everything to me that I'm like, wow, like that is somebody else's. It wasn't really. And that is it, right? When I go to like a meeting, I'm not expecting that it's always going to be amazing and that I'm always going to like it. And so that became, for me, one of my driving forces is like the importance of intergenerational storytelling, the importance of hearing from all ages, and the importance of sharing everyday stories and looking to the, you know, to the youth and also to people who are older than yourself, like outside of that bracket. I think once you step outside of like 10 years, it tends to be like, why, like, who's this friend? It's like, no, they're my friend. Why are we confined to these like binary positions where I can only be friends with people who are like 40-ish?
Mm-hmm. And women's voices, elevating women's voices, giving them literally the microphone to speak in front of a crowd. They're not professionals. These are people that we meet in everyday life. People refer other women to us, and we don't want them to be rehearsed.
Yeah.
They really can't screw it up. They're telling their own story, and it's very personal. We've been doing this for almost 3 years.
Yep.
Wow.
We do them 4 times a year. And so in October, we have our 3rd anniversary. And what's exciting is 1 year ago, we had Team 20s from our first show, a really amazing woman named Chelsea, and she asked us to kind of co-host with her a dedicated show in honor of Truth and Reconciliation with an all Indigenous lineup.
Yeah.
And we are doing that again this year.
Cool.
So that has now become something that we hope to do annually.
Yep.
And then we've also partnered with the Canadian Women's Foundation to do a show in Calgary, and that's going to happen in October. So it feels fantastic that we're able to provide a platform for more women to tell stories and more opportunities for people to listen to intergenerational women, again, or people that represent as women, however you want to phrase that.
Yep.
It's pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting. And we also, at our shows, we have a marketplace.
Yep.
So we'll bring in female-owned small businesses, and they can come and sell their wares.
Yep. For no cost. Like
no
we
cost.
invite them just to like come and participate.
Yep. We have food and beverage. We recently got sponsored by Collective Arts.
Yep.
So they'll have their amazing selection of non-elks, which they are really great at.
Yep.
And we have ASL, live interpretation, at every show, just to make it as inclusive as possible. We heard that the deaf community rarely have events to go to, and so we wanted to be one of them. And we're still waiting for that audience to really come out. I feel like they need to know more that it's there for them, but we're going to keep doing it.
Yep.
Amazing. And where do you see it going? Like, where do you want it to go? What's next on the horizon? Like that's big, the Calgary and spreading out, but what's kind of the vision, I guess? Just touching as many people as possible, or? Yeah,
I think just having people be heard and the importance of storytelling and the intergenerational aspect of it. Like, it's one thing for us 3 to sit and chat, but like it's another to bring in, someone who's a lot younger and someone who might be a lot older, and to actually realize, we're not that different. And we have no idea what stories people are carrying with them, right? It's not unlike why I wanted to be like, hey, I'm an addict, right? Like I am a successful woman running a marketing agency. I, for all intents and purposes, like look put together, and I'm burning my life to the ground, right? It's like, it doesn't have to look, it can look that way, but it can also look like that. And so the shared stories of like going, I would have looked at that person on the TTC and written like, maybe that's not now I would, but most people might be like, oh, that Gen Z, or like, you know, on their phone or whatever. And meanwhile, they're like texting a doctor while they're recovering from stage 4 cancer, right? Or like somebody in their 90s, like our first show that we went to the New York show, and the team 80s, I think at the time, told the story while playing a ukulele about the orgies that she went to in Paris in the like 1930s or 40s. I don't even know. The math ain't mathin', but sometimes, and you would this sweet little lady just strumming away about her orgy, right? And it tends to be sometimes the most outrageous, which is again not dissimilar from 12-step. Like people with long-term recovery are like more likely to just like drop some story that you're just like, what? You did what? And so that's what we love about it.
How about the woman at our show? And I don't remember what team she was, but her first journalism assignment was John Lennon's assassination.
The assassination.
So she was flown to New York and she was there. She interviewed Elvis.
Yeah. Just like things that it's like we always say it's like a big hug. Like when you come to the show, it just feels like, wow. Like, look at us, like, look at humanity. You can look back, right, at Team 20s and remember being and feeling, you know, as they do, and look to the future and be like, God, I'll tell this like one story. So predominantly my Team 70s, sometimes I do a lot of the speaker seeking and engage with them, and I'm the only one that hears the stories before they go on. And so they will sometimes just call me and be like, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do the show. Good luck. And I'm like, okay, like bye. And I want to be like, you've been on the website, but then there's this part of me that's just like the lack of apology, that they're just like, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do it. The lack of an excuse, right? As women, I feel like we're like, oh my God, I'm not gonna be able to come, but I'm really sorry. Like, I got to do this thing. It's like, no is a full response. And saying, no, I'm not gonna be able to make it. I don't care that I'm on your website. I don't care that I've done these things. She obviously has something else going on. Who knows what it is? It's really none of my business.
I don't need a reason.
Yeah. And so as much as it's annoying, I also am like, wow, what is that like? To just be like, nope, sorry.
It's so hard.
Yeah. Like imagine I just like texted you or sent you a message and was like, yeah, we're not gonna be able to make it. Best of luck. Like your reaction. So what's your reaction? You're gonna be like, what the fuck? Like, why would that person do that?
My first reaction is she saw one of my videos and got offended by it. That's my first reaction. I'm in talks with, you know, talking about partnership. I'm talking to a treatment center right now, and they haven't answered me in like, I don't know, 2 days probably.
Mm-hmm. So they hate you and they don't want to do anything with you.
We're the same. Yeah. My first thought is like, they got like I crossed the line somewhere, and then I'm like, dude, I just shut up, just take a breath. People are busy. I don't need a reason, and they don't need to give you a reason, right?
Totally.
People are allowed to do this. No is a full sentence. I'm learning that too in as of late. One of the things that happened to me when I started this podcast is I'm learning so much, right? And I never thought I'd be learning so much about just not even just recovery, just everything. Like I've had so many amazing women in here, both of you included, that are just blowing me away with some of the like things that they say and the power and the shit that they've been through. Oh my God. Right. And to your point, it's like, if I saw you just walking down the street, never would have thought that you were, sex trafficked or whatever. Right. Yeah. Like, just thank you for sharing that. Right. Yeah. And I think the other thing too is when people share openly like that, specifically with the orgy story, and they're able to laugh about it, it gives women space, gives everyone space, but in your specific scenario, it gives women space to be like, oh my God, I can talk about what I went through. I didn't even know I was allowed. I didn't know.
It's a permission almost. Like, it's like when you do that, it gives others, and I know from like the importance of when someone says like, hey, I did that too. Or like, hey, I also was so unreliable. I had this great friend I could never show up for. I did that too. I stole that too, you know? And so that is what happens, right? These, there are obviously people that come that are part of my recovery community, but like these normies get to kind of experience what I've been experiencing through shared storytelling. And it is so amazing and gratifying and just feels like, yeah, I can't imagine not doing it. So going all the way back to your original question, like continuing to expand, continuing to hear from other voices. We are thinking about doing another storytelling series that's in the works that will be more inclusive in the sense that anybody could come and tell a story, because we have just seen the magic of what we've been doing and how important it is for community and connection. And
men are more than welcome.
Oh, good. I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, it is not a women-only show.
Yeah.
I think it has the name women in the title, but it is absolutely open to any and all.
That makes me happy.
Yes, so we expect to see you. Yes.
Yeah. Some of our like biggest champions of what we're doing are the men. Mm-hmm. Like there is one of our dear friends, he's a DJ here in the city, and he saw one of our shows and he said it changed his life. Yeah. Wow. Because we know that, right? We know that someone can say something to us and it can absolutely just be that like truth bomb, that small nugget that like doesn't seem, not the like get your life together, but like this little thing, and it has that impact. My dad comes to almost every show, and my sister and I are the two daughters, and he says that he understands women more than he ever has because of the show. Because we hear the stories, we hear the like really big and scary stories about what it's like to be a woman, which is true, a lot of the stuff that is going on. But to actually just hear us talk about like our bodies or like what it feels like to age or, you know, dreams that we have and aspirations, that's not always out there, right? It's everyday people, everyday women, and everyday stories. Yeah.
I think it'll help my marriage too. So that's what I'm thinking. Like,
absolutely.
I'm excited about that.
It feels like a peek behind the curtain. Another dear friend of mine says like, it really feels like a window into like women that you wouldn't necessarily get.
And there's no secrets. We're just offering people a chance to actually listen. There's no secrets being told.
Yeah, no, not at all. It's the storytelling. Yeah. And that's when, you know, when I was saying it's not a TED Talk, it's you telling your story for, 7 minutes, and that's it. Leave it on leave it there, bring it and drop it. And a lot of people have said like, it's been really cathartic for them to like come, and it gave them confidence to go on to do other things, or, they realized it wasn't that scary to do that thing, or overcoming it was like empowered them to start doing more of it, like all of that. And there's other people who just came and told their story and that was it.
Or you offer an organ.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So this is a crazy story. Okay. So we had Raheel Raza on the show, who's like a badass, like look her up.
Team 70s.
Formidable woman. Yes. And she was talking about being on dialysis and needing a kidney. And this kind of goes back to the story about like, I remember the story and she was like cool, but it wasn't like, it didn't have an impact.
Yeah.
What happened for you?
I thought she needs to live longer. I'll give her my kidney. I just met her. She needs to live longer. She does. She does incredible work, and she is so impressive. And so I asked if she wanted my kidney. We aren't a blood match, but at that point mentally I'd given my kidney away. So I started calling people and asking if anyone needs a kidney. No joke. And I ended up meeting
another
through a Facebook person. Someone said, hey, I know someone who needs a kidney. And I wrote to him and said, hey, how's it going? What's your blood type? And his name is Felix, and he is in recovery as well, 19 years.
I think so.
Yep, and he's a social worker.
I know him. Yeah, I know him.
You know him, Felix?
Yeah, I know him.
Okay, well, he's the recipient of my kidney.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? I didn't know, like, this stuff, right? Like, I'm so woo-woo. I'm like, what are the chances? Because I didn't actually even know him. But I'm not sure.
So he's a friend now. Everyone's like, do you know him? I'm like, now I do. Now he's a great friend.
Yeah.
Oh my God. He's a good dude. He's a good dude.
Yeah. So he needs a kidney, and now he's got one. So
There's so much going through my mind right now. I just like
But that's the real world impact of this show.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't have
And
met,
the impact
you know?
of the storytelling and
Yeah.
the certain thing that can move you, right? And even when that happened, Kirstin wasn't or didn't quite remember. My dad received an organ. He was an organ recipient 22 or 23 years ago. So there's just like all of this stuff that's just like how, and it all came from someone coming and telling their story and not saying, hey, give me your kidney, just coming and telling a story that has an impact. Like you never know what you're saying and the impact it might have on someone. And so that's why we feel it's such a like beautiful.
I mean, the moment where the universe, God, higher power, whatever you want to call it, put a thought into your mind to start thinking, like obviously your kidney was not meant to go to that woman,
Right.
but it was meant, like it just, just and like you're like, I'm not satisfied with no for an answer to my kidney.
Someone
I need to go.
Yeah.
She'd already given it away. She was just like, well, I might as well do this. And then just like calling out people being like, hey, do you know anyone who needs a kidney? But again, storytelling. Right? It's just like getting out of our own way, telling our truth. I was going to do this thing and now I'm doing this thing. And the trajectory is never it sometimes is what it looks like it's going to be, but other times it's so unpredictable, right? It's not necessarily that she gave it to her and they have this great story. Instead, it's something entirely different that somehow comes back around to me. Because she was like, oh, my best friend's in recovery.
Oh, because he had a website and he's wrote his story.
Yeah.
Here's who I am. I was in journalism and I needed to be in recovery.
Yeah.
And I remember messaging him and saying, like, I get it. And so it is just serendipitous.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Oh my God.
Is it odd or is it God, as I like to say?
Yeah. How can you not? It's just life is so much easier when I believe in a directing force, guiding force, whatever you want to call it.
In magic. I call it magic.
Yeah. I mean, it really
so
is
much more fun. Let's believe in magic.
Yeah, because then the possibilities are endless, right?
Who knows?
Yeah. You mentioned that you reached out for help to her 13 years ago.
Yep.
If you had to, if there's somebody listening right now that maybe is in that position where they don't know what that looks like, what do you say to that person? How did you ask for help?
Oh gosh. that is a tricky question because I'm not sure. I think I was desperate, right? I was like, I need help big time. I think you have no idea, like we were just talking about, what that outcome is. Don't listen to that first thought that's telling you, oh, it's too much. They're not going to help me. They're going to tell other people. It could happen, but you're going to be okay. It's way better than handling it on your own. Like, I think it's impossible. Personal opinion, I think it's impossible to attack any mental health on your own, whatever that looks like. Whether it's outside help from, like, when I think about my journey, I have a psychiatrist, I have a therapist, I take my medication as prescribed, I've gone to AA, I've been a part of She Recovers. Like, I've read all of the books about different modalities to recovery, and those have become my tools. Speaking my truth became my tool, like being able to say that. And if you're asking somebody, you just have no idea that they might need help at some point, right? Like, or that they know somebody. Like, the interconnectivity of speaking your truth, saying your truth, even if your truth is messy and confusing. I think I even remember saying, like, I don't know if this is going to stick. And it didn't. I relapsed after that. And, but it was worth it. And then I think, the fear around asking someone who you might know is in recovery, I think that's there a lot, right? Like, I'm not going to call my sponsor. I'm not going to, like, tell people in the rooms what's actually going on, or I'm not going to tell my therapist what's going on, is problematic, right? Because for me to be able to take that shitstorm, like that horrible burning down of life, and like be able to spin it into someone else's gold, to be like, hey, me too. Like, I did that too, or let me help you. Let me show you someplace. Let me tell you how I did it. Is the greatest gift, to take literally a burning dumpster fire of a life and kind of take it and re-spin it and repurpose it into somebody else's, like, not feeling alone. that's been the greatest thing. Yeah. And Gen Women has done that for that for other people. They feel that way. But women come up after, we encouraged them to like, they reconnect, they end up doing their own things. Like someone will tell me like, yeah, like we hosted facilitated a recovery thing together, or we did this other thing together. I'm like, it's not even through me anymore. I'm just like a conduit. We are a conduit to community. And right now, real stories in a world that has a lot of fake or a lot of performative, a lot of gloss to it, I think people are craving it.
Yeah. What's really funny is you got tripped up when he talked about you asking for help. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to identify that Jen doesn't ask for help. That's what happens there. Because that's why, I don't know if you realize you were like, I don't know. I don't ask for help. You don't. She does not ask for help.
That's true.
So I think it's the speaking your truth part, which almost had a few of us realize that was your way of asking for help or acknowledging. But you did, like the reading, all the things you've supported yourself with, those are all the tools. But you tried to do it all yourself by doing all those things. You didn't technically ask for help.
True. That's true.
And so we now know sometimes when you need help, you still want to ask for help, but you want to take care of everybody.
Yeah, I'm like that too.
Everybody.
I'll deal with it, and then I'll tell you about it after.
Yeah.
Or, one thing that I tend to do is like, I will intellectually, I'm like, here's all the things. But emotionally, I'm not telling you how I was feeling. I'm telling you, yeah, I'm a drug addict. Yeah, these things happened. Yeah, I did this. But then when you get into like the feelings part of it, it's definitely, it trips me up. And you're right. Asking for help is like very challenging for me. So what's coming to mind is like the 1,000-pound phone.
Yeah,
like it's so hard to like really do that. Yeah. And especially as someone who is self-sufficient, right? Who does for the most part like handle things, right? But it's like, how do I do that? How do I let people in? And that's the beautiful thing too, is it's like a work in progress. Like I don't have the answer. I don't know. You tell me, how do you ask for help?
Yeah. I mean, so there's a lot there. You said that in a nice way though, to the point where it brought out that her response. And so my first thought, and I will answer your question. I'm not dodging the question. Asking for help. It made me think asking for help doesn't have to be, hey, I need help.
No.
Something signified that she needed help, and there was a seed planted along the way. That's and that made it easier down the road for you to know that there was people in your life that love you and will support you no matter what.
Yep.
Right.
Sometimes just showing up is the help too, right?
And we talked about that before.
Yeah. Just like being there and like sitting and not telling her what to do, not fixing it, not everything's going to be okay. Like just presence, the energy of two people sitting together is just as good sometimes.
I struggle with that so much. I want to fix
that's
now.
a very man thing, I think.
This is what you need to ask people when they complain or vent or whatever. Do you need me to listen or give advice, right? Do you want a hug or do you want to you want to dig in?
Yeah.
And I mean, we've even asked that of each other at times. Like, do you want to just eat ice cream or like, are we cutting off ponytails? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. I think, open communication.
Opening yourself up, though, that's just it. Because as soon as you were opening yourself up, that's when we were able to offer support.
Yeah.
Because we recognized that there was a need for it.
Yeah.
So I think it's opening yourself up and that vulnerability of saying,
which is like my hardest
people
thing.
Love me unconditionally.
Yeah.
It's so much about that, right?
Yeah.
And when you open it up, then we can all
Let people in
and offer that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll give you an example of how I just thought of this now, because I do not ask for help well at all. I do not. And it's not that maybe it is, I mean, it's ego at the end of the day, no matter what, but it's not so much that I think, no, it is. I think that you will think less of me. But so I'm thinking of a specific story where, so I struggle with body dysmorphia. I've opened up about that. And to our earlier points, the more I've opened up about that, you would not believe. I've had 10 times the amount of guys come to me then looking for sober help, that guys that are already in recovery saying, what, you're so fit. Me too. Like I struggle with it too. And so that's been a blessing in disguise. That's been hard to open up about because again, my brain is like, you're in good shape. They're going to think you're a liar. Or, you know what I mean? Like all this bullshit in my head.
Yep.
I was standing in the kitchen with my wife 2-3, maybe a month ago, about to go to a retreat, a sober retreat with the rehab that I work at. And she had, we got into an argument, and I'm going to try to share my story and not hers because I can often do that. But she was bringing up times in my addiction because she saw me at 8 years, and then she saw me in my relapse. So she's seen Jekyll and Hyde like through and through. She knows me at my core now, which is a blessing and a curse at the same time, right? So we were in a bit of an argument, and she was just like reminding me, you know, when people like, and you're telling you things, and you're like, oh my God, I forgot I did that. And I'm just like, oh, taking it. And I'm literally praying in my head because I'm like, I want to make excuses. I want to say it, but this and that. And I'm just like, God, help me just take this right now because she needs to give it to me. Right. She needs to give it to me. And so I needed help in that moment I'm going to relate it back to the body dysmorphia thing now. I went into my fridge. So the fight ended, and I don't know why this happened. I call it an act of providence. Whatever. I went into my fridge, and I had been buying Ozempic online, okay, to deal with, and I'm doing this in sobriety not long ago, and I'm hitting myself with it maybe every week. That's how I relapsed the first time, is I started with things and not telling people, right? So we get into this fight, she ends it, whatever, we're kind of on our own, thinking our own things, processing it. I go into my fridge, take it out, and I go in the bathroom right in front of her. Like, usually I'm more secretive or whatever. And I walk out, and she goes, the fuck are you doing? Like, she thought I was doing steroids again, because that was another part of my story. And I had a moment where I was like, I could lie about this and get away with it maybe, or I could tell the truth and own up to it. And I paused, which is a miracle in of itself. And I told her the truth. I said, this is Ozempic. I've been doing it for a while. I'm struggling with this. And she didn't yell at me. She didn't judge me. She just accepted me in the moment. And I was able to throw it out in the garbage and then go onto this retreat and share my story with a bunch of people that I didn't really know, but I opened up about it, and people came up to me and said, thank you for that. Thank you for that. You know, you really helped me. I think that was a pivotal moment in my recovery again, because like I said to you, secrets were my downfall time and time again. I think that's with all mental health is secrets, right? But especially in addiction, it starts with a little spark in the back, and then you're throwing gasoline on it every day. Yeah. I think, like, without a doubt in my mind, that if I had not had that experience, if I had not thrown it out, if I had not told on myself, caught myself, whatever you want to call it, I think I would have eventually relapsed, right? So it's like, that's how I ask for help, to answer your question a long-winded way. Yeah. Yeah. I need to get caught. Like, I need to get caught. I need to tell on myself by getting caught, because it's so hard for me to say, hey, I'm struggling with this. I don't know what to do.
That's a great level of self-awareness, though. Yeah.
And I think it's helpful when we have people that see us, right? That can say, like, you don't ask for help, so I know that I need to come in there, right? And to be able to be accepting of that, right? And to meet people where they are is a beautiful thing, right? And I think that's what your wife did in that moment. Yeah. And then to go and share at the retreat, like, it's just, there's so much in just telling your truth. Tell your truth, whatever it is. It doesn't need to be rude. It doesn't need to be like yelled, at the tree, like scream. Off the rooftops, it can be like, I'm not okay. Right? It could be, I might need help. It could be, I just need you to sit with me. Like, whatever that truth is in that moment, I think is the power. And that's what happens at our event, is like in that moment. And I will tell the storytellers, if your story changes after you've told me what you think you're going to say, great. That's fine. I'm not going to be like, oh, that wasn't what you told me.
Liar!
No, I'm like, that could happen, right? That's the same way, you just like, get up there, tell your truth as it relates to the topic, the theme. Even that sometimes is a bit, people have done like spoken word. Another person, didn't honor themselves in doing something in theater school, and they performed their soliloquy that they never did because they were so, like, they just didn't prioritize themselves. And so they stepped to the side and performed it. Yeah. People were bawling, right? Wow. And then there's other people who tell like crazy stories, about their sex life. Team 70s at our last show had these nudes that she'd posed for in her 20s. And they were from
She shared them all. She put them on the stage.
No, she brought them.
She brought them.
She told the whole story,
Yeah.
and then she laid them out, and there they were, her nudes
Fully
from her
nude.
20s.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
And we loved it. Like
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
eat it up, right?
Yeah.
When someone tells the truth, it's like what you said. It gives others, kind of don't love the word permission, but it tells someone else like, hey, that's okay. And we want the show to feel like that. I don't want you to look at it like a TED Talk and be like, I could never do that. Like that's not. I want you to be like, I got a story.
I want to do that.
Yeah, I got a story. I could do that. Come on up, right? We talk about them not being professional storytellers, and they're everyday women. Some of them are. Like that is, they do tell stories, or they're a writer, or they're in the public eye. But it could just be like someone, like just you see it, you feel moved, let's go. Come on up, tell your story.
Wow. And there's so much magic that probably happens in that. I love it. I'm excited to come. I'm more excited that I'm allowed and invited.
Yes,
that was my
absolutely.
first thought when we first started. I was like, man, I'm never gonna be able to go to
No,
this.
come.
Sounds
Like
amazing.
we encourage everybody, all ages, like everybody to come.
I
Like it
love that
really
shit.
is a beautiful evening. I know you will love it.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing better than raw, authentic, honesty, open mind, like especially coming out of, I'm pretending that this isn't the real world, but the real world with
Yep.
social media and,
Yeah.
that's my new addiction nowadays. And it's just like, is this real? I don't really know.
Yeah.
Are you crying? You're crying. You look like you're acting. I don't know. Right.
Yeah.
I was watching a video the other day and the girl was crying and it looked like a legitimate thing. And then someone was like, this is a satire account. And I was like, what the fuck? Like,
Oh my God.
and I looked at her videos and it was, and I was like, man, you don't know what, anyways.
Well,
Yeah.
we intentionally don't air our shows online.
Yeah. It's probably
It's
a
the
good thing.
moment.
Yeah.
It's the moment. And also, people are sharing very personal stories
Yeah.
and they're choosing to share it with a room full of people and not the internet. So we intentionally make it about that night.
Yeah.
One time only. Night circus. Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. So when's the next show?
We have 3 upcoming. So first up, we have our Truth and Reconciliation, All Indigenous. That's on Wednesday, September 24th. Then we have our Calgary show, which is in October 2nd
Mhm.
at the Commons
Hemingway Room.
And then our 3-year anniversary October show is on October 23.
October 23rd.
Thursday, October 23rd.
It's at the Lounge at Live Nation, which
Yep.
is in Liberty Village.
Okay.
And we do actually have a show coming up in November in Hamilton.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah.
really starting to like pick up speed and try to bring more and more of these to life.
Love
Yeah.
it. And where
Yeah.
can we find you?
generationwomen.ca,
Mm-hmm.
and there are links to tickets there as well.
And you have Instagram as well.
Yep.
We do, which
And
is
it's
Generation Women.
I'll link it in the show.
Yeah, link
notes.
it. Yeah.
I'll link everything.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah,
show
thank
notes.
And
you.
our
It's,
tickets are on Eventbrite too.
perfect.
So, yeah.
Amazing. Thanks so much for coming down. It was
Thank
a pleasure
you.
to meet you and to see you again.
Yep.
I hope our paths will cross again, and I'm sure they will. I'm excited to go and
Well,
see
you're coming
this.
to the show.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I'm
you'll see
excited.
me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll give you a
You're
shout
getting
out.
a phone call. Yeah, you're coming. Yeah. No, amazing. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thanks for listening. Please help us grow the channel and like, share, and subscribe for more content. The discussions and stories shared on this podcast are for informational and motivational purposes only. This content is not a substitute for professional medical advice, addiction treatment, or therapy. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, please consult a licensed physician, addiction specialist, or mental health professional. You are no longer alone.